Sometimes she have a little bit of everything.
Well, it's the latest.
On The Breakfast Club.
Talk to me.
So Diddy was sentenced on Friday. He was sentenced to 4 years and 2 months behind bars and a $500,000 fine for the 2 counts of the Mann Act, the prostitution or the travel to engage in prostitution charges that he was charged with. Now, it was a very long day in court. We were there from, I believe things started around things started like 10, a few minutes after 10 o'clock, and then we left around like 5-ish. And it was emotional as well, too. So the way that it went down was the judge listened to both sides, and he took into account things from both sides that both sides felt like shouldn't be included or whatever in the sentencing. And then the judge came in and he said, here's what we're going to do. So the biggest thing to me, the judge says, we're going to be able to factor in or at least be able to use for context the things that you've already been acquitted of.
That sounds crazy.
Now, the reason why the judge said that, but when I heard that, I'm like, oh, he is not going to take it light at all. But the reason why the judge said that is because he was getting to the point that you can't get to prostitution and the things that Diddy was actually convicted of without being able to theoretically think about how we got here. And when you think about how we got here, Diddy had to be able to force these women, coerce these women, and there was physical violence that happened in order to do so.
But he was found not guilty for all that, for forcing them women in coercion, right?
Yeah, I mean, he was found not guilty. He was acquitted of those things, but the judge ruled based on other case law that they needed to be able to use it in context. Now, I will say, go ahead.
Like the prostitution is too intertwined with everything else is what
yeah, like one thing leads to another. Like you have to get these women scared. You have to get these women to the point where they feel like they can't fight back in order to travel in people to them to engage in the prostitution is how the judge
but that doesn't necessarily make sense, right? Because somebody could want to hire a prostitute. They don't have to be coerced. That could just be their side of them.
See, now that's another thing.
Because he was found not guilty of that.
That's another thing too.
From proof and...
When they were trying to figure out how they're ruling on different things, and Diddy was objecting to different things that was in the sentencing report, the victim conversation came up. Like, do we look at Jane and Cassie as victims or as women that were just engaging in prostitution or prostitutes? And the judge ruled that they were victims. So once you rule that they're victims, and then you say we can look at all the other things in the background, it gets us to where we are now. Now, Diddy's team did say right then and there when the judge said that they objected to it, they said that they felt like it was not fair because he has been acquitted of these things. They also, I mean, I could tell by the conversation they were having in the room with the judge that meant that they were going to appeal it, which they did talk about outside of court. But I do want to mention that the kids also spoke in court. When I say the kids, I mean Christian Combs, Justin Combs, Quincy, Diddy's 2 twin daughters, and his daughter Chance spoke. And oh my God, Christian was the first one that started kind of tearing up, but when them girls started speaking, when his daughter started speaking, I don't think there was a dry eye in the court. And the judge thanked them for, their words. He also watched the video that we played up here on air before I went to court. And he said that he took that into deep consideration, the fact that Diddy will be away from his family and how they'll be impacted. But that was his ruling. And Diddy spoke for himself in court as well, too. I wrote down most of what I could get. And he apologized to Cassie and Jane. He said he was deeply sorry. He says that he hates himself right now. He turned to his children and his mom and he said, I apologize to you guys. I failed y'all. He started to break down when that was happening. He couldn't even look at the kids when they were speaking because he was breaking down as they were doing that as well too. And he says that, he thanks the jury for the not guilty verdict, but he also takes the Mann Act charges very seriously because that was something that the judge had said. Like, I feel like at this point you haven't even apologized or, had conversation about what you were actually convicted of. But I do think that, Diddy speaking, even though people say that the 4 years, 2 months is too much, I thought it was going to be more because the judge was very clear about, I think if I let you leave right now, you're going to do exactly what we've seen you do. The judge specifically said in court, you posted a video after the CNN beating of Cassie came out. And you said a lot of things in that video that I've heard you say here in court today when you spoke for yourself. But you, at the same time, months later, and you kicked down doors to get to Jane and beat her and all these things. I don't believe that you're in a place that you should be releasing to the public. And my job is to protect the community right now. I think.
How did Diddy look in the courtroom, Lauren?
At what point? I mean, he was
just in general. Like, what was his overall demeanor?
In the beginning, he was very involved. So he's putting on his glasses. He's reading through things. You could tell he was changing up his notes and what he was going to say, and going back over that the whole time. He needed a couple minutes before he spoke. He took some time to really think about what he was going to say. When the girls and his kids were speaking, he was super, super emotional. Hands in his face at one point. Just shaking his head.
What about when he fell to his knees? When he fell to his knees in between the chairs, did you see that part?
They said that was old, right?
Yeah, so that photo of him in the chair was an old photo from back in July. But there was a point where he had bent down, but I felt like he was just getting his stuff together because it was over. But he was
on the floor?
Yeah, he had something you collecting things because they brought in a lot of dockets and stuff like that, and he's heavily involved, so he has them as well too. But he was very emotional. For multiple points out of the day. The part where they played the video, he couldn't even look at everybody turned to the screen to look. He couldn't even look at the video. He was crying during that as well too.
What about the
they played the Cassie video?
No, they played the video that we played on air before I went to court of his family. They put together that mashup
a 10-minute video. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, now there was rumors that he was scheduled to. I mean, they said he was hosting an event next week in Miami. Well, this week in Miami.
Oh my God, that was insane. Okay, so here's what it was. So Diddy's team had put in documents that they had something scheduled for him to do next week in Miami. Now, what that was Diddy. He's been doing free game with Diddy while locked up. Mm-hmm. They had worked with the Bureau of Prisons and all these official law enforcement agencies to set up a whole course for Diddy to go and begin speaking at various places to help people not get in that situation that he's in, and to speak to people that are currently incarcerated and recently came home. And they had a guy who was, the head of the program come and speak in court and say why they did that, because he said, when people are involved in programs, once they leave, they don't go back to jail. And what Diddy is doing is very impactful. Now, I will say, I thought
prosecution made it seem like he was hosting a club.
Exactly. I mean, because at that point, I think it's it's the conversation around the arrogance of it. It's you're very
it don't
confident.
matter what he was doing.
Yeah, you're very.
It don't
confident.
matter if it was a club hosting or not. The fact that you scheduled something you just know you coming home, that's crazy.
Yeah. And actually, O.J. Simpson's attorney, former attorney, Alan Dershowitz, he spoke to Fox News just about how crazy that was too. Let's take a listen.
We are planning to appeal.
Man, I want to hear them, bro.
We are planning to appeal. We think we have strong bases to appeal. The strongest basis is that the jury.
Imagine anything more stupid than that. How anybody permitted him to do that? It's just a slap in the face to the judge. It's outrageous. I can't imagine any lawyer or any responsible person allowing. I would have quit the case if I had been Diddy's lawyer and Diddy had said, I'm going to make an arrangement and I'm going to make it public. I would have said, yeah, and you're going to get a new lawyer. I'm not representing somebody who is so stupid and arrogant. I mean, I'm not Dr. Kevorkian. I don't believe in walking my clients into a death chamber. And that was a kiss of death.
He's absolutely right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
he's absolutely right.
Mm-hmm.
That first audio we played, we can play that now. That's Diddy's attorney, Mark Agnifilio. Outside of the courthouse, they held a presser where they talked about the plan to appeal.
We are planning to appeal.
Man, I want to hear them, bro.
We are planning to appeal. We think we have strong bases to appeal. The strongest basis is that the jury reached a verdict on coercion. It found there was not coercion, and I think the judge said coercion today as a basis for a sentence at least a dozen times. We think that is unconstitutional. Yeah. We think that a jury verdict should mean more than our jury's verdict seems to mean, and so we are planning to appeal.
Now,
if he was facing life... Oh, go ahead, Joe.
No, I was about to ask, is he safe though? And you say something about him getting stabbed?
I was going to say what they're going to lean on, just to answer your question. Diddy's team is saying no, he's not going to be safe, because in court we found out that there was an attempt on Diddy's life that they stopped. There was a man that attempted to shank him, but they stopped it, the correctional officers, and they say Diddy didn't even want people to know that he didn't want to make it a big deal. But of course they're having that conversation about will he be safe because of who he is and how high profile this case is.
Right.
They're also having a conversation. Mark Garrigo Geragos spoke with TMZ, Mark Geragos is a high-profile attorney, a friend of Diddy's, but also the dad of Teeny Geragos, who led Diddy's defense about Diddy potentially being raped in court. And we can, that's the thing that they're having an honest conversation about, and just attacks on his life, because they say that people look at him as like a trophy or a prize, and to do something to him.
Or what if other inmates hear all of the stuff that we've been hearing in the news all of these weeks, and they scared of Diddy?
That's not how they presented it. I don't.
But I'm just saying, what if the inmates start writing letters? Like, we scared that he gonna be in here with us.
That's crazy to say Diddy's a trophy. Like, he's looked at as a trophy in jail is crazy.
I mean, listen,
he's a prize.
He's a prize. Isn't that crazy?
But even more, Charlamagne talk about the inmates gonna be scared. Like, then where they gonna put him
for
at?
real?
Yo?
They gotta put him somewhere.
I don't think Diddy gonna be in population anyway. But I mean, listen, man. All I know is this: if you was facing life and you beat those charges, then you was facing 20 and prosecution wanted 11, and you end up getting 4 with 13, 14 months time served. Man, you need to take that and go sit down and handle your business. I hope Diddy takes this time to beat his drug habit. I hope he takes this time to do some real healing work. And I hope he comes home and becomes a better person.
Yeah, my whole thing is I just want the judicial system to be fair, right? It seems to me, and I'm not a judge, I'm not an attorney, but what I've been reading and what I've been reading from other attorneys, it seems like that judge based things off things he necessarily wasn't supposed to. Like, the Cassie, we talk about the Cassie video all the time, but he wasn't convicted of the Cassie video.
Yeah, but he explained all.
But also the coercion. Like, all the attorneys are saying, how are you found not guilty for that, but then you still use that in sentencing him? It's a lot going on. Let's open up the phone line.
He explained it. Loren just explained it.
Yeah, but most of the attorneys are saying that's not right. You can't. That's why they're filing an appeal on that.
Well, listen, and in an appeal, we'll get more into that, but.
But let's open up the phone lines. 800-585-1051. What are your thoughts? Let's discuss. 800-585-1051. And by no means am I saying Diddy's a great person. He's a nice person. I'm just saying in the judicial system, you're supposed to be charged and sentenced based off the crime. And if that's the case,
man, I think Diddy came off really well. I know what
so
you're talking
too.
about.
But let's discuss
that.
that.
Man was facing life.
With time served, he got what, 3 years to do?
He got 3 years to do. 800.
He was facing 20, and the prosecution wanted 11 for these 2-man act charges, and you end up getting 4 with time served.
But nobody in the time
count his lucky stars.
Nobody in the time of history has gotten that much time for hiring a prostitute and carrying more state lines. Nobody. Not one person.
There's always new precedent to be set.
And usually, they get the pimp and the actual John, not the actual person that does it. But we'll discuss when we come back. Yeah. She has more to break down. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
If this world were mine.
Hey, Roman numeral 7, babe, drop it like it's hot. If this world was mine, I'd take your dreams and make them multiply. If this world was mine, I'd take your enemies in front of God. Introduce them to that light, hit them strictly with that fire. Fire, 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 fire. Hey.
John.
Thank you.
You got more you got to break down?
So the only things I wanted to ask I think we should bring back is Cassie's reaction to the sentencing. I wanted to play the audio of Mark Geragos talking about Diddy potentially being raped in jail, but we've already talked about it.
My thing, Loren, is that like
Switch, guys.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Ready? We're about to go. Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Loren LoRosa is here as well. If you just joined us, we're talking about Diddy sentencing. Now, Loren was actually in court on Friday, and she was breaking down some of the things and some of the reactions that she's seen. Now, everybody reported a lot of the amount of time he got and all that, but
yes.
You know what we were saying behind the scenes is tell us what was the scene in that courtroom, because we weren't there. So put us in that courtroom.
I will say it was really, really emotional.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of crying. Diddy himself was teary for a lot of the time. I mentioned this earlier, but like I think at one point you really realized how bad Diddy messed up. Like with his, like you.
What?
I mean,
you just realizing that?
No, because listen, for a lot of us, we thought that he was the time served was a real conversation. People thought that he might go home or at least maybe just do another year, if that. But
even if he went home, he's completely messed up.
It doesn't matter.
The money that he's had to spend, the fact that he won't be able to do no big business anymore. He's lost hundreds of millions of dollars.
And
His legacy's ruined.
He'll figure that out. He'll write a book. He'll do the whole Black Man apology tour, right?
No, he won't come back.
No,
he's not going to come back. He's not going to come back the same way.
won't.
But if Diddy was released today or tomorrow, he would do enough to
Figure
figure out how
out
to live.
something.
It's not going to be the same, but yes, he'll figure out something. But what I'm saying is that when court opened and you heard the judge basically talking to Diddy like Diddy was his child, and he did it very nicely, but he was telling him, I don't believe that you're sorry, you need help. I was like, Diddy's life is over. And that was before the sentencing even happened.
Well, Diddy's life was over when that video, we all seen that video of him beating Cassie. That's when his life was over.
Yeah, but
Hold on. Let's be clear about our words. Diddy's professional
Diddy's
life
professional,
is over.
life,
in my
yes.
opinion, Diddy's professional life, in my opinion, was over when we see that video of him beating Cassie.
And I'll say his family was like really strong, like his kids, outside of when they got emotional when they had to speak, but like just sitting there even through the sentencing as the judge was reading out what the sentencing was going to be, and the judge was literally using some of the family's letters and the things that they said about him, from his kids to his sister to all these different people, to sentence him and say, now you need to depend on your family. Everybody just sat there. I think it was like, I think there was kind of like a feeling of disbelief, because it was like, is this really happening? Like even Diddy, just blank stare.
How was
he
his
was
mother?
Just sitting there.
His mother was there, right? She just had some type of.
She
was
just
sick,
had a.
right?
He said he mentioned that she had like a brain surgery. She was just there. Like there was no. I really don't think that anybody thought that it was going to go the way that it did. So they were like, what is happening right now? And I also believe they had already had a very honest conversation about, if this goes this way, what are we going to do? And I think they believe in the appeal. Like they think he going to appeal, he going to come home, because the way that they were composed for the most of that, I couldn't have been composed like that.
I do have a question. If they do appeal, is it the same judge? Because it seems like that judge is stuck on something. So if they appeal, do they appeal with a different judge, or is it the same judge over and over again?
They're definitely going to try and do a different judge. Like I don't think there's like, why would you? But here's the thing too. You talking about the judges. The judge was very fair in my opinion.
Really?
Like people were pissed off if you say this, but the judge to me was gracious to Diddy in the sentence that he handed him, because I'm telling y'all, he was not going for none of it. Diddy stood up there.
He was facing 20, and the prosecution wanted 11, and he ended up getting 4 with time served. Yes, that is a good deal. That is a great sentence for him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I couldn't have handled it the way that they handled it. Even when they were leaving court, like they were together. Like they've been through. It's been a long 8 weeks. And I think, you to the point now where you just kind of want to get to the end of it so you can figure out what you got to do to get him home, and which is going to be the appeal. But they held it down. They were strong in that courtroom, outside of breaking down when they were speaking. Jess, you had a question.
Yeah, I had more of a statement. Like his kids, even his boys, they had to, I don't know, it's hard to believe that they didn't think he was going to get no time at all. I don't know. I just wanted the older kids, the boys, like, I don't know, let's just be realistic. Whether they didn't think it was going to be 50 months, I know, like, me as his son know that, he more than likely, my dad probably going to definitely do some time. I don't know, just listening to what you were saying that everybody it was like a shock to everybody. I'm like, how were y'all shocked? But
yeah, how you shocked?
I'm gonna tell you, right, and it's funny, right? So I seen, salute to D.L. Hughley, right? I seen him make a post on this pastor out in Dallas, right? Now, this Dallas pastor got 6 months in jail for sexually abusing a girl, right? You can go to Fox News, you can look it up. Now, when you see a pastor get 6 months in jail for sexually abusing a 12-year-old, and then you see this, and I hate to compare cases, but how do you not?
That's why you doing it.
But how do you not? So when you look at something like with Diddy and you see the time that he's getting 4 or 5 years, right? And then you look at a pastor that is getting 6 months in jail, you can't tell me that it doesn't seem like Diddy's getting railroaded.
Y'all know what I feel like too. And
Listen. I'm not an attorney or a legal expert, so I don't know all the ins and outs. But what I do know is Diddy wouldn't have any of these current problems if he simply made better choices. And I just hope people learn from this situation. Destiny is not a matter of chance; it's a matter of choice. I saw Diddy's kids speaking, and one thing I thought about is when you hear these kids say how much they need their father, I'm like, why wasn't the father thinking about that before he was making these poor choices? That's what we all should be considering and talking about. Okay, life is not just about us. If you got so much to lose, all these people that depend on you, then act like it. Make better choices. Everybody talking about, well, this case happened over here and that case happened over here. What about that man making better choices? Diddy is in this situation because of the poor choices that he made. And you know what? One of my guys that's an attorney, he said to me this weekend, that's exactly what you need to be thinking about, making better choices, because you don't want to leave it to the scorecard.
No, you're right.
And be in front of these judges and having them dictate the rest of your life.
No,
so make better choices.
You're absolutely right. The choices that Diddy made put him in this decision, in this predicament that he's in. I just like for the judicial system to be fair. And I know that I'm living in America where things
let's start
ain't
with
fair,
us.
But I also want things to be
You're
fair.
right, Indy, but let's start with us.
You're right. I just want
start
things
with
to be
us.
fair.
Yeah.
Diddy should start with himself. He wouldn't be in this situation if it wasn't for him.
You're right. But I just want things to be fair. That's all. Let's go to the phone lines. We got Corey on the line. Corey, good morning. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Corey, what's your thoughts?
Oh, well, hey, first and foremost, I want to say that I think this was an activist judge. The fact that you can take the non-guilty verdicts and use that as your sentencing because you don't believe the jury, that's foul and unfair. Number two, when he spoke to Puffy, he clearly said that Cassie and Dang, we heard your voices. Now, don't get it twisted. If he was charged with domestic violence, that would be fine. But the fact that he was found guilty of the Mann Act, and which Chuck Berry was, and only got sentenced to 20 months, it shows you that this judge was out of pocket from the beginning.
But he said we heard your voices, but he also said that Diddy was a great man. He was great in the community. He did so much for black and brown people. He is better on the street than behind bars, but he needs to get himself together. He said both things.
But you said this guy just brought up Chuck Berry getting 20 months. That's almost 2 years. That's what Diddy essentially got. He already got 13, 14 months time served, and he got 4 years for 2 counts of the Mann Act. I think Chuck Berry had 1 count of the Mann Act and got 20 months.
We got Danny on the line. Danny, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning.
Talk to us, Danny.
No, I agree with Charlamagne. I think that he got off lucky. To me, I call that a win because he could have been in there way longer. He was in a RICO case damn near by himself. So to get the 4 years with time served, 3 years, he'd probably be off in the next 2 years. He'll be out doing his thing.
Okay. Thank you, Danny. Yeah, I think he has, 3 years left to do or something like that?
Yeah, 3.
3 years left to do?
36 months.
Yep. Hello, who's this?
This Dan Man from Detroit.
Dan Man from Detroit. Good morning. We're taking your calls on Diddy's sentencing. What's your thoughts, bro?
Man, I think it was unconstitutional. I had the chance to work with him when he did that Batman when he did that last Halloween. That was my nephew / son that did the little Batman thing with him. I wrote that, and definitely Joy was there. A lot of them was there, but for him to get charged for the Mann Act and then get 4 years for coercion. You don't have to coerce nobody to do nothing like that. I mean, I feel like everybody was grown and they had their own choices. So for him to get 4 years for that, I feel like it was unconstitutional. I feel like they're gonna win in an appeal. They gonna win. I think his friend Donald Trump gonna get him out.
Thank you. 800-585-1051. We're talking Diddy this morning. We're taking your calls on his sentencing on Friday. We'll discuss some more when we come back. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Now, if you're just joining us, we're talking about Diddy. He was sentenced on Friday. How much time was he sentenced to, Loren?
4 years and 2 months.
Now, you also said that Cassie spoke about after his sentencing. What was her thoughts?
Yeah. Oh, hold on. I didn't know you was going to say that. Yeah, so her attorney spoke out on her behalf, and they said nothing can undo the trauma that he caused, but the sentence imposed today recognizes the impact of the serious offenses he committed.
Okay, we're taking your calls, 800-585-1051. A lot of people are saying karma. You guys believe in karma? Like some of the things that you've done in the past come back and bite you in the ass later on?
Most definitely. Hell yeah. I believe in it.
Listen, once again, this is why we need to make better choices as humans. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that, we all saw Diddy out here, fighting demons, and the demons were winning. We acting like we didn't see and hear Diddy battling these demons while he was out. The man was changing his name every other few months. He was openly talking about his grief and trauma and how that was kicking his ass. So yeah, all of that stuff, does eventually catch up.
We have Ty on the line. Ty, good morning.
Yo, good morning. What's going on, DJ Envy?
Talk to us, Ty. What's your thoughts?
Man, all we learning through this case is that he's just a freaky ass dude. You know what I mean? Cassie, she already got her money. Why is her name still being thrown this? All that shit's dismissed. You know what I mean? But he's just a freaky ass dude. He don't need all that time. Maybe a couple years, and then a life sentence of probation. Not even life sentence of probation, like 5 years of probation. But he's just a freaky ass dude.
Thank you.
But what you just said he should get is what he got.
That's what he got. A couple years.
Like, what are we talking? Like, something's wrong with us, man.
Hello, who's this?
Hello, this is Trey.
Trey, good morning. What's your thoughts?
Well, I just want to comment on what Charlamagne said about Diddy should be glad for the 40 months. What he doesn't realize is that in the feds, you usually get overcharged. So they overcharge you and tell you you're facing life in prison. And then when they come with a deal like 10 years, you make it seem like you're getting something special. But that's not meaning it's fair. So Charlamagne, he do need to realize.
I didn't say fair. Fair is not the word I used. I said that if you're facing 20 years and the prosecution wants 11 and you get 4 years with time served, that's about as good as it's gonna get.
Hello, who's this?
Desiree.
Hey, Desiree, can you take us off Bluetooth, please? Or speaker, because we can barely hear you. Damn, she hung up. Hello, who's this?
Natasha.
Hey, Natasha, good morning. What's your thoughts on Diddy sentencing?
I think that for the crimes that he committed, his sentence is on point. But I'm concerned that how is Cassie not compared to Jeffrey Epstein's wife?
Well, it's two totally different things. Jeffrey Epstein's wife was getting young girls.
But her actions.
You mean her being involved? You mean the fact that you feel like she was involved?
I think because she cooperated.
Exactly.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Exactly, and she was doing all the calling and reserving and all of that, and and now she's at home with all that money, and that just bothers me.
Okay.
Now I was thinking about that. Now I was like, why did Diddy even pay Cassie? Like, did Cassie still testify against him? Cassie still wrote letters to the judge telling the judge to keep him. Like, what was that? What did he even pay her for?
He probably paid her because he was scared. I don't know. He probably just paid her because he was scared. Because what other reason would he pay her for?
Well, he paid her to drop the lawsuit, and then the feds picked up the lawsuit. So he paid her to drop the lawsuit, which she did, and then the feds picked it up, and then the feds subpoenaed her to speak.
Y'all know what's crazy too? Gina was there at court. Victim 3.
Yeah,
she was there at court in support of Diddy, which I thought was awesome because
I seen that on the Shade Room.
Gina was there, and I'm like, so y'all couldn't get her to court when y'all needed her to be here,
Right.
the government, but she's here. She that was weird to me. Like, how could they said we couldn't get her? I think she was gonna blow their case up.
Hello, who's this?
Yeah, this is Angelo.
Angelo, good morning. What's your thoughts, Angelo?
Man, I was just thinking, man, Donald Trump's spiritual advisor literally just got charged 6 months for child molestation, but they gave Diddy 4 years. That don't even make sense to me.
Yeah,
Black and brown under attack, man.
Yeah, no, I just said that. I just said that.
Yes, it does make sense. He's a white man.
Oh, I was about to say what?
What are y'all? What's up with y'all? I'm so sick of y'all acting like y'all not who we are.
You're right, but it's just you want to
like it's just weird to me when y'all had these conversations. It's like, yo, we are black. You know things are different from us. But also, I want to say this. Here's the moral of the story for me. Everybody keeps talking about was Diddy treated fairly or not. Once again, this is why we need to make better choices as humans. I'm not leaving anything up to a system that I know ain't going to treat me fairly anyway. Just make better choices. None of y'all are talking about how Diddy was out here taking penitentiary chances as a whole billionaire. He's a grown man with kids and employees who depend on him, but he was out here using drugs. He was out here with prostitutes. He was out here making poor choices, and those poor choices caught up to him. And clearly he's got a problem because on the day he got arrested, he was in the hotel with drugs and baby oil. So the man needs to get help. So he needs to take this next couple of years or however long it's been to really, 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 really get clean and do some healing and come out and be a better person.
I agree wholeheartedly.
For his kids.
I agree wholeheartedly with you, but I will say this. We are all not perfect, and we've all made mistakes, and we've all been in situations where we could have got arrested before. A lot of us have. And the fact that it happens, you just want the judicial system to make sure that whatever they sentence you with, they would sentence the other person with. And when you hear Diddy getting this much time, and the guy, like the guy said, the pastor that sexually assaulted, it's the truth. No, what I'm saying is, yes, Diddy
we really keep making excuses for people's poor choices.
But you want the judicial system to be fair, no matter who you are.
How about let's not get to the judicial system?
You're right. But if we do
you don't get to the judicial
you want
system
it to be fair.
If you make better choices.
You're absolutely right. But if you do get there,
Diddy made this bed for himself, and now he got to lie in it with all the baby oil in it.
Jesus Christ.
And I hope, once again, I really, really hope that he takes this time to beat his drug habit, do some real healing work, and come home and become a better person for his kids. Forget Diddy the mogul. Forget Diddy the superstar. What about Sean Combs the person? Worry about your soul for the rest of your life.
I'm with you. Who cares about the music? Who cares about the entertainer? It's all about them kids and his family, and hopefully this wakes him up to see that.
And making better choices, because he could clearly end up right back in this situation if he doesn't do some real healing work.
That's right.
Well, look, once again, the day he was arrested, he got arrested with more drugs and baby oil in the hotel right here in New York.
Stop saying baby oil, but he got with drugs.
No, it was baby oil.
No, it was baby oil.
Oil ain't illegal.
Right.
I'm just saying that's just evidence of that there was a freak off that was still happening that day. The day he was going to turn himself in.
Yeah. The nigga just can't be ashy. That's all he was using baby oil for, to be freaky?
Yes. There's a pattern here, Jess. Yes.
Jesus Christ. All right. Well, we got the latest with Loren coming back. What are we talking about now?
We're talking about Lotto. Fans are speculating that she might be expecting a baby. We're going to talk about it.
All right. We'll get to that next. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.